and we're off to the allotment. Minus 1.8 overnight, and we're thinking about sowing some early seeds. So I'm going to take this bench that I made and get it set up so that I can start putting some seed trays on a surface. I'm going to sow some early cabbage, and I'm going to try a few early collies this morning. So picking up some trays and some cells from a storage. Be really careful. We've got some slugs in here which, to be honest with you, would eat through those seedlings in no time at all. So just make sure any trays and cells that you're picking up from storage are well cleaned before you get going. I'm sure you've seen this many times before, but it's quite simple. We're just going to fill the cells with some compost to the top, and these trays are ideal for this. They keep everything together so that you don't make too much of a mess. And then I'm just going to tap it down to give it a little bit of a firm base, a bit more over the top. Corners always seem to miss out, so just make sure that you've got plenty in there, and then we're good to go. So this morning we're going to sow some Primo Cabbage Golden Acre. This is from a magazine, and there are 500 seeds in here. I'm going to sow half a dozen, and these are supposed to start in February. But we're going to sow them in cells in the Polytunnel and see how we get on, and it's currently middle of January. The other thing I'm going to sow, and these were tremendous last year from Real Seeds, this is autumn giant cauliflower, and I found that if you space the sowing out of these, that you get a successional crop of cauliflowers, which is absolutely perfect. I'm also going to sow this morning some peas, which are old, and I'm going to grow them for shoots, and we'll see whether we have any success and whether we can put those pea shoots into salads. This is Calverdon Wonder. Everybody has a different method for this sort of sowing. There's no wrong, there's no right. As long as you get your seeds germinating, then that's what it's all about. So I water this to start with, get the compost a little bit damp, and then when it's all settled, I'll sow into the cells. In the meantime, I'm going to fill up these deeper pots. These are the ones that I used for the onions, and that's what I'm going to sow the peas into for the pea shoots, and we'll see if we can get any success from those in the polytunnel in January. It's early, but if we don't try, we won't succeed, and it's worth a go with this old seed that's got an element of risk to it, and if we are successful, then pea shoots for food, which is great. So I'm labelling up the cells for 3, 6, 9, 12 cauliflowers and 12 cabbage, and then we'll have the peas in these pots. I'm just going to write the variety down, which is Calverdon. And pop that in there. I'm going to take a good handful of those peas. We're not worried about spacing because we're using them for shoots. And then onto our cauliflower and our cabbage. I'm literally going to sow one seed per cell. 12 cauliflower, if they're early, is plenty for our needs, and so there's no point in growing oodles of any one particular variety. When you're doing this, just make sure that you haven't got seed that's damp as a result of your sowing, otherwise the dampness is going in here and you could get germination in the packet. And then the primo cabbage, which comes in a foil packet. Ooh, way too many. I dropped a few then. I'm going to just pick them up. There we go. If I get more than one come up in any one cell, I'll just select the best and pinch the other one out. And then I'm going to sprinkle on top of those just a little compost. water. And then with these, I'm going to put a cover over the top just to help it with its germination. And we're good to go. Day of odd jobs on the allotment today. Nice day. Sun's shining. Hopefully, according to the forecast, we're going to have this sort of weather, or at least dry, for a week. Today, one of the things I'm going to do is take these nets off. They're not serving any real purpose now, and I don't want them to get damaged through the harsh winter months. One of the things you have to be careful of with the nets is that if it snows and you get too much weight on them, then you could get some damage. So with no further ado, let's get them taken down. If you source these clips carefully, you can get them very cheaply in packets of about 6. They're sprung clamps and they work perfectly for fixing the net to the side of the hoops without doing any damage. One of the benefits of these wood chip paths is you're able to work on it during the winter. If it's damp underfoot, it really doesn't present a problem. So the nets are off now, and it gives me an opportunity to clean away all the fallen leaves which attract the slugs, and they'll be heading over to the chickens. It's really surprising how valuable that exercise is. The number of weeds that are really very vigorous and coping with the 0 temperatures. This is Rose Bay Willow Herb, and as you can see, it's a mat, and once it starts going, it certainly runs rampant. So it's really useful to get this out this time of year and make sure that no weeds are getting a good foothold. There's also plenty of grass beginning to grow, so it's a great time. There's not a great amount of weed, but it's good to get it out of the ground. That's bucket number 3. So this red cabbage is rococo, and it's going to serve us a few more plates of food over the coming weeks. I'm taking out anything that is not really established, didn't get going, because it's really serving no purpose, and that will enable me to cover in between these with the mulch to make sure this ground's covered for the worst of the winter weather. And these go to the chickens. The nets are just taking a couple of hours just to dry out before I store them away in the box, which you can see in my earlier videos coming in very useful. And as you can see now, the beds are pretty clean, very little residue of decaying matter on the beds, which really helps to keep the slugs away. There's no food for them there. And the winter veg, they don't look particularly attractive, but they'll certainly continue to give us some food over the coming weeks. You can see this Asturian cabbage is doing brilliantly. Lots of lovely new growth. Same with the Cavolo Nero, Toscana kale, and the 1,000 head kale, which is a perennial grown from seed and is doing brilliantly. All these green leaves go into making smoothies, which we consume in copious amounts. So, good job so far. And the chickens, they love all the decaying vegetables and leaves and make a grand job of turning it into eggs. If you want to see how I make this amazing friable compost, watch my video Reliable Compost Maker. I'll link it here. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.